The US military just made a move that's going to completely change the way we think about small arms on the battlefield. We're not talking about another minor tweak or a different paint job on the same old cartridge. This is a ground-up shift in how our soldiers are going to fight. Now, this is my professional read on the situation, backed by ballistics data and time on the range. Your perspective might differ, and that's fine. Let's get into it. What's the new caliber? Here's the reveal. The Army has officially locked in the 6.8 by 51 mm cartridge as the standard for the next generation squad weapon program, also known in the civilian market as the 277 SIG Fury. This round is no gimmick. It pushes a 140 grain bullet at right around 3,000 feet per second. Put that next to the 5.56 NATO. Most standard 5.56 loads are leaving the muzzle with about 1,800 foot-pounds of energy. The 6.8 by 51, closer to 2,800. That's a massive step up. And here's the wild part. This isn't just brass and powder. It's a hybrid case design with a steel base and brass body, engineered to handle pressures at 80,000 psi. For context, most modern rifle cartridges sit around 60,000 psi. That extra headroom is what allows this cartridge to run such high velocity without blowing up the chamber. In practical terms, that means an effective lethal range out past 600 meters. And even at 1,000 yards, this round still carries more energy than 5.56 delivers at 500. That's a generational leap forward. Why the Army walked away from 5.56 NATO? The 5.56 NATO has served for decades. It's light, fast, and lets troops carry a lot of ammo. But here's the truth. It's struggling against modern threats. Adversaries today aren't just wearing thin plates. They're running level 3 and level 4 armor systems that can soak up multiple 5.56 impacts. Combat reports have shown over and over again soldiers firing several rounds only to see targets keep moving. That's not a training flaw. That's a cartridge limitation. The brass at the Pentagon wanted what they call overmatch, a rifle round that decisively outruns and outpenetrates what near-peer adversaries are bringing to the fight. And that's exactly what 6.8 by 51 delivers. Instead of dumping high volumes of lighter bullets, the doctrine is shifting toward fewer shots with much higher terminal performance. Every round fired is meant to end the engagement, not just suppress it. How does it compare? Let's stack it side by side.
5.56 NATO, typical load 62 grains, muzzle energy about 1,800 foot-pounds, recoil energy around 6 foot-pounds. A soldier can comfortably carry 210 rounds in 7 30-round magazines.
7.62 NATO. Now we're talking 147 grain bullets, about 2,480 foot-pounds at the muzzle. But it weighs more, roughly 25 grams per cartridge. Recoil is heavier too, around 17 foot-pounds. Troops can't carry nearly as much, 6.8 by 51 millimeter. This is the middle ground that outperforms both ends. It weighs about the same as 7.62, right around 25 grams, but delivers nearly 2,800 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Recoil sits at 19 foot-pounds punchy, but controllable with training. Instead of 30-round mags, we're looking at 20 to 25 rounds per mag in the new M7 rifle. The trade-off? Less capacity. The gain? Every single shot hits harder, flies flatter, and stays lethal at extended ranges, where 5.56 falls flat. This cartridge stays supersonic for much longer, and it gives our soldiers the reach and penetration they've been lacking since the Cold War. Impact on soldiers. From the boots-on-the-ground perspective, this caliber changes the way firefights play out. With 5.56, squads usually leaned on volume of fire, suppress, maneuver, and hope your rounds find their mark. With 6.8 by 51, it's different. A squad leader spotting movement at 500 meters can make the call to engage immediately, knowing those hits have the power to end the fight right there. Integrated suppressors on these new platforms are a huge deal. Less flash, less blast, better communication inside the squad, and a much smaller chance of giving up your position. That's a serious tactical edge in contested terrain. Then add the XM157 fire control optic. It's essentially a ballistic computer bolted to your rifle. It reads distance, factors in winded environment, and adjusts your point of aim. Pair that technology with a cartridge designed to stay lethal past 600 meters, and you've got a system that dramatically raises hit probability in real combat. Yes, ammo loads are lighter in terms of round count, but each round they carry is far more decisive. Recoil is heavier, but not unmanageable. Most soldiers adapt quickly, especially once they see what this round does on steel and in training scenarios. And don't overlook the mental side. When you know your rifle can defeat modern body armor and keep you lethal past the range of enemy carbines, that confidence alone shifts battlefield dynamics. Gun platforms and training. The rollout centers on two weapons, the M7 rifle and the M250 automatic rifle. The M7 is replacing the M4A1 in most line infantry roles, piston-driven, built for the 80,000 psi chamber pressures of the cartridge, factory suppressed. And it keeps familiar AR-style controls, so the learning curve is smoother for soldiers coming off the M4. The M250 is the belt-fed partner. It's lighter than the M249 it replaces, but it carries serious reach. With recoil mitigation built in, gunners can hold targets at 600 meters plus, and those rounds will punch through armor. That's a huge jump in firepower at the squad level. Training pipelines are being rewritten around this. Rifle ranges are getting extended to 1,500 or even 1,800 meters. That's a massive leap from the 500-meter doctrine of the past. Soldiers are being retrained for precision shooting, fire discipline, and understanding that each round is both more costly and more capable. Add in the optic systems, and training now blends traditional marksmanship with digital integration learning to run ballistic computers, manage electronic range finding, and acquire targets under new conditions. Infantry rifle work is no longer just iron sights and trigger squeeze. It's becoming a much more technical craft. Civilian impact. Now what about us? Civilian shooters are already getting a taste with the 277 SIG Fury. Hunters are paying attention. Precision shooters are paying attention. With its high ballistic coefficient and retained velocity, this round stays flat, hits hard, and holds energy way beyond what you'd expect from most traditional hunting calibers. For long-range deer, elk, or even bigger North American game, it's already proving itself as a serious contender. But there's a catch. Ammunition isn't cheap. That hybrid case design with the steel head and brass body costs more to produce. And right now it keeps the price up. Platform choices are also limited. You don't have dozens of affordable rifles chambered in it yet. Reloaders are experimenting, but it's trickier than running standard brass. That steel head requires different handling, and load data is still being worked out. Over time, as the military ramps up adoption and manufacturing scales, we'll see more rifles and lower ammo costs, but for now, this is a premium option for dedicated shooters who want cutting-edge performance and are willing to pay for it. Myths versus reality. Let's cut through some of the noise, because there's a lot of bad info being tossed around about this new cartridge. Myth number 1. Smaller caliber equals less punch. Wrong. The 6.8 by 51 millimeter is actually fatter than 5.56, and it hits with a lot more energy. Diameter alone doesn't tell the story. Terminal ballistics come down to velocity, construction, and energy on target. Myth number 2. The Army is rolling back to World War II era rounds. Not even close. Just because the bullet diameter looks familiar doesn't mean it's old tech. We're talking 80,000 pounds per square inch chamber pressure. That's bleeding-edge science, not vintage ballistics. Myth number 3. This round doesn't solve a real problem. Tell that to guys who've dumped 5.56 into armored opponents and watched it deflect. This cartridge was built because the gap was real, and combat experience proved it. Myth number 4. It's too heavy. Soldiers won't carry enough ammo. Modern firefights don't look like Vietnam belt dump engagements. They're short, violent clashes. When each shot delivers more effect per trigger pull, the trade-off in weight makes sense. The truth is, this isn't some gimmick. It's a deliberate step forward, forged from lessons learned downrange, aimed at meeting the threats we know are coming. Not perfect, but a real fix for real issues. Future outlook. Looking forward, this round is just the opening shot. Other branches are evaluating, and if the platform performs, we could see adoption across the U.S. military. Our NATO partners are watching too. That brings a huge logistics question. For decades, everyone's been locked into 5.56 NATO. Switching to a brand new cartridge complicates ammo pipelines. But if the advantages prove undeniable, allies either adapt or build their own high-pressure solutions. This could mark the start of an entirely new era in military ammo worldwide. On the civilian side, get ready. Military breakthroughs always bleed into the commercial market. We're talking fresh rifle designs, optics tuned for the new ballistics, and hunting or long-range options that make use of that hybrid case tech. Being able to safely run higher pressures without blowing cases wide open doesn't just benefit 6.8. That innovation could trickle down to cartridges we already love, boosting performance across the board. So here's the bottom line. The 6.8 by 51mm combat round isn't just a little stronger. It's a wholesale shift in how the infantry fight gets waged. Accuracy, power, overmatch. What do you think? Would you want to see this technology cross into the civilian world, or do you believe the military should have stuck with proven calibers? Let me know down in the comments, and tell me what's your personal go-to caliber for stretching distance at the range. If this breakdown helped, hit like, drop a comment, and make sure you're subscribed for more deep dives on firearms, ammunition, and the future of small arms. Thanks for sticking around.